started. So thank you, everyone. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you, Dr. Everhart. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much for the presentation. It's always fun to see everybody's reactions, the word clouds, or it's just fun to see all the similarities, the differences, everything in between. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and head on into our kind of general education pathway and schedule review with our lovely Miss Allison Lyon. I believe she's already on. Allison, are you here?
Good morning.
Are you here? I think it's a little muffled. Let's see.
Can you hear me with this?
No, I can't. Yeah, it's coming through.
All right.
We're good now. All right, thanks.
You just speak up a little. I haven't had my coffee yet this morning.
I know, it's a little early. We'll give you a pass. All right, so I'll let you kind of jump in. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Day one of nursing school. I am also a nurse, so I have been in your shoes, and I just wanted to say congratulations. Welcome to Stanbridge. Today starts your nursing journey. So exciting. My name is Allison Lyon, and everyone calls me Professor Allie. I am full-time faculty here, and I teach in the BSN program for general education. So you're going to have me in term 5 for health and nutrition, and in term 10 for critical reasoning and ethics, and possibly in term 1 for sociology. I am teaching that cohort this term, so very exciting if you're in my class. I can't wait to meet you all. I have been teaching for Stanbridge for over 4 years. I absolutely love my students. I started out in healthcare administration, middle management, and thought that was what I wanted to do. That was my path. And then as I was working for large hospital systems in my 20s, I would walk down the hall of these big hospitals and see the doctors and nurses in scrubs. And I was jealous. I was like, I kind of feel like I want to be a nurse. I want to be on the clinical side of things. That was, scary for me because I don't feel like I'm not strong in the sciences like Dr. Everhart was talking. She doesn't like history. I'm not really good in the sciences, and I just felt like I can't do it. I can't pass the sciences, but I really want to be a nurse. And so long story short, fast forward, I took a break from my career in health administration to raise my family. I was a stay-at-home parent for 10 years. And then as I was approaching 40, I was hemming and hawing. I'm like, I really, really want to go to nursing school, but I really don't think I can do it. And this is just an example of, sometimes we get in our own way and we just have to, trust and do the scary thing. And, even though we think we may not be able to accomplish it, we have to have faith in ourselves and just sometimes jump. And so I realized as I was turning 40, I'm like, I can either be a person turning 40 or I can be a person turning 40, hopefully in nursing school. And so I decided to apply and I got in and I started my nursing journey at Stanbridge. I did my prerequisite science classes there. So I've been in these classes that you guys are about to take and I passed all of them with A's, every single one. So, like I said, even though I wasn't sure of myself and I really didn't even think I could pass, I got A's in all of them. But thank you. Long story short, COVID happened and I ended up moving with my family up to the San Bernardino National Forest in the mountains. And Stanbridge was, at the time, we only had Irvine and LA campus, and it was a 2-hour drive one way. So sadly, I could not finish my nursing journey at Stanbridge, but I finished at another school, and I've been a nurse since 2022. So my nursing journey is actually not that far off. So I really feel like one of the things that makes me a good instructor is that I have been in your shoes very, very recently, in the last 4 or 5 years. So I know where you're at. I know, how scary it is. I know how exciting it is. And I just want to tell you, feel all of your feelings and jump and let's do this. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get into your general education program and talk a little bit about term 1. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat or hold them till the end if you'd like, and we can talk about them at that time. So let me share my screen. Give me just a moment. Okay. Can you all see the PowerPoint where it says general education on it?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Fabulous. All right. So here we go. Meet your general education leadership. Well, I've already introduced myself, and I am actually currently the assistant program director for general education, but I found that my passion is in teaching, and so I decided to step down from administration to return to full-time faculty because I really miss being with you guys. And so as of tomorrow, I'm actually returning to full-time faculty, so I won't be leadership anymore. But our program director is Dr. Peter Poon, and he's been with the university for, again, over 4.5 years. He's fabulous. If you guys are in LA, you're going to be really lucky to see him all the time. That's his home campus. We have Steve Ryan, who is the other assistant program director, and he is oversees San Diego and right now is overseeing Orange County as well. And we are hiring for Orange County and Riverside assistant program directors because our programs are growing so much that we can't just do it all with 3 people. So we're hiring and hiring. So you guys are going to see some new faces come in for your general education program very, very soon. So I already kind of went over this a little bit. Why I chose teaching. I love my students. I love you guys. I love teaching the next generation of nurses. I love seeing you have those aha moments in your classes and get really engaged with the content. Like I said, I teach nutrition and also critical reasoning and ethics class, and those are kind of like my wheelhouses. I love those subspecialties, and we talk a lot about treating nutrition, like treating the patient-specific disease. So if you've ever taken a nutrition course, you learn, all the kind of generalities about nutrition. But in that course, you're going to learn, okay, I have a patient with diabetes, or I have a patient who is a burn victim, or has a cardiac problem, or is post-op. What does their nutritional picture need to look like? What do I need to know as a nurse in terms of nutrition for these conditions so that I can best help my patient? And in terms of critical reasoning and ethics, critical thinking is such a valuable skill to have in the nursing world. And you're going to be making decisions all of the time. You're going to be patient advocates. You're going to be taking care of not only them, but also their families. Take care of the whole family, all aspects of that patient's life. And interacting with families, you're going to be making those critical reasoning decisions and also ethical decisions. So in this course, we learn quite a lot about medical ethics, ethics in general, and in other disciplines throughout the country. And we talk about case studies, and we do some really cool activities like designing social media campaigns and analyzing TED Talks, and doing critical analysis of movies with ethical dilemmas. It's a cool course. It's in term 10. I'm super excited for you guys to get there. But for now, we're going to talk about your first term, term 1. All right, term 1. So just to give you a little overview, general education is terms 1 through 5 here at the university. You are exclusively in our little GE family. You are in the general education program. So if you're looking at like 4-year college, your first 2 years typically would be like your GE program, like your community college, if that's where you get your AA, and then your years 3 and 4 that's where you get really into your like core competencies, and then that's where you get your BS. Kind of same situation here. Your GE is kind of like those first 2 years at a standard 4-year university, where you're going to get all of your well-rounded kind of education, your sciences, your maths, your Englishes, your sociologies, all of that. And then we have a couple GE courses sprinkled in. You've got a psychology course in term 9, and then you've got my critical reasoning ethics course in term 10. But for term 1, you're going to have Introduction to Written Communication. This is your very typical English course. It is online and asynchronous. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what those terms mean come up in the future slides. So you don't need to necessarily worry about what that means right now. And that course is going to be taught by instructor Kristen Chrisman, who's been with us for like, I don't know, 7-8 years. She's absolutely amazing. Phenomenal English instructor. You guys are going to absolutely love her. All 3 of the campuses have her for English. So college algebra is, again, you're just your very typical well-rounded math class. Sociology is a really cool class. And if you are, I think I'm teaching LA or OC. No, I'm sorry. I'm teaching Riverside. I'm sorry. Sorry, if you have Riverside for term 1 sociology, you're going to have me. Chemistry and chemistry lab are like partner courses, and those are on ground. So chemistry is what we call passive learning, where it's your traditional, you sit in a classroom, you listen to your instructor, you take notes, you engage with material that way. And then chemistry lab is the active learning part, where you're in the lab, you're engaging with the content, and you are actively applying what you learned in your chemistry theory course in the lab with your cohort mates. And we're going to talk a little bit about the lab sections coming up here in just a few minutes. Why is this not changing? Hold on just a moment. There we go. All right, we're going to talk a little about course delivery. So you guys will understand when you get your schedules, what online versus on ground versus synchronous versus asynchronous, what does this all mean? So online courses are fully online, 100% online. They're either asynchronous or synchronous. So these are really important terms, guys. Asynchronous means there's no live Zoom component. So that means that you do not have to show up on a Zoom at a particular day and time and engage with an instructor in an online format over Zoom. Synchronous means that on a particular day and time, like 10 o'clock on Wednesday, for a couple hours, you're sitting in the Zoom and that is your class, that is your attendance, that is your lesson. Both asynchronous and synchronous courses have assignments due in the courses. And typically those due dates are Sundays. How we count your attendance in asynchronous courses is by discussion boards, where you're going to post a primary post and then engage with your student, with your fellow cohorts by responding to their posts. And that we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. But for your purposes right now, asynchronous means no live Zoom. These types of classes will require a bit of time management, being really focused on when you're going to complete all of the assignments and requirements of the course. But the benefit is it's on your own time. So you get to schedule these around your lives, your families, your jobs if you have them, your other classes that are on ground like chemistry and chemistry lab. So that's the benefit, is that you can do them at 2 o'clock in the morning if you want to. Believe me, I get submissions at 2 o'clock in the morning. I get emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if I'm awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, I respond to your emails. I'm known for being a quick chat. And if I'm awake and I get an email from a student, I hit the reply button and I reply right then. So if you need me, you will have me right away. On-ground courses also they have a hybrid component. And what this means for on-ground is that you also have a web page that has an online component where you may have to submit, like on our lab worksheets. Like lab is an on-ground class, but you may have to submit your lab worksheets online to that Adverum web page. So that's just what hybrid means. It just basically means it's on-ground, but you can submit your submissions online. Okay. Your schedule's on Adverum. Adverum is our learning management software. That's our platform that we use. If you've been in college before, you've probably heard about Blackboard or Canvas. Very similar, except our president likes to elevate his game here at Stanbridge, and he decided to build Adverum from scratch because we wanted to create something very custom and proprietary for our students that really meets the needs of the nursing program. Because Blackboard and Canvas and some of these other platforms are just, very general. So Like I said, our president built and designed and developed this university for the last 29 years, and he's very innovative and very much invested in your future. And he said, hey, I don't want to use something that's already out there in the world. I want to create my own that is custom to what my students need. And so Adverum was born. So Adverum is amazing. That is where you will view your gradebook. That is where you will post your discussion boards, upload your assignments, and view your schedule. So your schedule will be posted on Adverum, and that is where you can do it at any time. So you're going to have on-campus sessions for your next couple orientation days, and you will be taught how to use Adverum backwards and forwards. So if it feels overwhelming right now, don't worry about it, because you're going to be basically handheld through the whole process. We're going to teach you exactly everything that you need to know about Adverum to be very, very confident in navigating the software. And it's super user-friendly. It's super easy. So don't worry about that at all. Also, if you have any questions about your schedule, like personalized questions, I'm going to answer very generalized questions at the end. But if they're individual to you, then you're going to have a point person, on-ground person during your on-ground orientation day that is going to walk you through your schedule and answer any individual questions that you have about your schedule. So, okay, asynchronous, again, I'm just going to repeat this. This is really important for you guys to know this. Asynchronous, fully online, no live Zoom. Okay, if you zoned out, you're tired, you haven't had your coffee yet, you missed what I said the first time, asynchronous means no live Zoom. You are responsible for completing your work on your own time, and synchronous is the opposite. Synchronous is online, and you have to have your butt in your chair at a specific time on a specific date to have class over Zoom with your instructor. Again, synchronous. There is a live Zoom for synchronous. Okay, they need a particular date and time. You have to be on the Zoom the entire time. So you cannot just go check in and then leave and come back, or leave 10 minutes early or come in 10 minutes late. Nursing is guided by the board of nurses, and every single minute of every single hour counts towards your program. That is per accreditation, and so it is very, very important that you guys know that you have to stay on those live Zooms for the entirety of the program. And we've had instances, and I'd love to say this to you now, that where an instructor has an emergency or something and the instructor signs on late, even if the instructor is not there, guys, stay on that Zoom. Don't jump on and be like, oh, the instructor's not here, bye, because your hours still count. So even if the instructor is not there, we've had a couple instances where things got confused, or, the instructor had an emergency, they jumped on 10 to 15 minutes late. Stay on the Zoom. Those hours do count for you. Otherwise, you will have to make them up. And that is per the Board of Nursing, not us. So just 100% I wanted to tell you, make sure that you're staying on the Zoom at all time. And the computer does capture that. So if you leave the Zoom early, we are notified that you left early or that you came in late. So there's no getting around it. So. Okay, again, on ground, this is your very traditional butts and chairs in-person instruction for your chemistry and your chemistry lab. That's going to be your classes for term 1 that are going to be on ground for you. And again, hybrid means you have on-ground instruction plus an Adverum webpage where you are going to submit your lab worksheets and other assignments that your instructor assignments. All right, discussion boards. Discussion boards count as your attendance for online asynchronous courses. It may also count as your attendance for other courses. Check your syllabus for what is your requirements for the course. But for my courses and for all online asynchronous courses, you're going to have a discussion board that you complete every week. A primary post is always going to be due Wednesdays before midnight. And a primary post is where you answer a prompt question that relates to the content in the topic you're discussing for that week in your course. And usually it's about 200 words, sometimes they're 100 words, and you write and you answer that and you post it by Wednesday every week, okay? And then your secondary posts, you have two of them that you reply to a peer. So you're gonna go into your one of your classmates' primary posts, and let's say you found something super interesting. So you're gonna comment on their post. Maybe you have a question about what they posted, so you're gonna ask them a question. Maybe you saw an article online or something, an external resource that you're like, hey, I remember this. And you go and you're like, you know what, you're talking about XYZ, and I just read this really cool article on this exact topic. Here's the link to it. Discussion board posts are for engagement. So this is where we want to see you guys engaging with each other and volleying back and forth. It's not just a copy paste of internet content. It's not just replying to your peer. Great post, great job this week. Guys, we've been doing this a really long time. We've seen it all. We don't want to see great posts, good job. We want to see you really kind of getting creative and engaging with the content with your fellow peers, because that is how you learn. So jumping forward. All right. On ground floor suite, where's my class? On every campus, as soon as you walk in the door of the hallways, you're going to see a big digital screen, and that is going to list your class, your cohort, the room number, the time of your class. All of that information will be up there digitally. We recommend that you always check your portal to make sure that your class assignment has not changed. Just because it was in room 202 last week does not necessarily mean it's going to be in room 202 this week. Just because it's been in room 202 for 9 weeks, week 10 doesn't mean it's going to be in room 202. We could switch it up. Things happen. We have to move rooms around. Sometimes at the last minute, we have talked to all of our instructors and let them know to post on Inverum on a course announcement if there's going to be any last minute program changes. But your very best asset for you to know where your class is going to be those digital boards as soon as you walk in the door of campus. And that is where your classes are going to be listed. We're almost there, guys, and then I will take some questions, okay? All right. You're going to receive your schedule moving forward for the consecutive terms after this a month in advance. We at Stanbridge, we recognize you guys have lives. You have kids, you have spouses, you have partners, you have jobs, you have life. And we don't want to just give you your schedule 3 days in advance and then expect you to rearrange childcare and all of the other things that are important in your life. So we give you your schedule a month in advance so that you can plan. Transfer of credit. If you have applied for transfer of credit, we try to get those approvals or denials back to you as quickly as possible, because we recognize that you don't want to spend time in a class that you're going to get TOC for and then you don't need to be there. We do really value your time, and we understand that these TOCs are really important. So we really try to turn those decisions around super quick. If you have not received a decision on your transfer of credit request, you are required to attend that class until you receive that decision. Because in the event that it is denied, we don't want you missing viable content, important content. And so you need to make sure that you are attending those classes until you get that TOC approval, okay? Okay, a couple more quick things. Sections. For lab, there are a lot of you, and our labs are kind of small. And we like to also have our instructor to student ratio be on the smaller side for labs so that you can get more personalized attention. So we break your cohorts up into sections. So on your schedule, if you're looking at your schedule on ground and you're super confused because you have lab on Monday and your cohort mate over here has lab on Wednesday, don't freak out. It's not an error. You are going to be broken up into different lab sections so that there's just a few of you in there and you really can engage with the models and the materials and the content and the instructor without having the entire cohort there. It's better for you and for your learning engagement. Again, I'll mention during your on-campus orientation day, you're going to have a staff member that is going to walk you right through your schedule, answer any questions you have about your individual schedule, your transfers of credit, your sections, any other questions. And so I'm going to answer very general questions that could be for the benefit of the entire cohort. But if you have really specific questions about your situation, save those for your on-campus day coming up, because you're going to have a specific person that can answer all of those questions for you. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see my lovely face. And I'm going to answer some questions here. Let's go back up into the chat and see what you wrote. Kudos to everyone here doing nursing as a second career. You are an inspiration that life is continuous effort of growth. Yes, thank you so much. I want to pronounce your name right. Aliyah, can you pronounce your name right? Aliyah?
My name's Aliana.
Aliana, thank you very much. Sorry I hate butchering names because everyone calls me Allison, and I only hear that from my mom when I'm in trouble at like 12 years old. Everyone calls me Allie, so I like to get your names right. Thank you so much for saying that. Yes, I have learned that life is not necessarily a ladder. We're always trying to climb to the next rung and trying to, get that next promotion. Sometimes it's a circle. Sometimes we have to double back on ourselves and relearn lessons and start over at the beginning. And that was me with nursing school at the age of 40. I was like, hey, doing the healthcare administration, I did that for a long time. I didn't love it. It's the only life I know I get for sure. So I'm going to do the best I can to make the most of it and do really what I want to do and what I'm passionate about. So that's why I went to nursing school. And then when I was offered an opportunity to teach full-time for Stanbridge, I came in teaching for the Bachelor of Health Administration program because that's my background. And then went to nursing school. And then now I'm teaching, nursing students. This is right where I want to be. So I'm really happy to see you all right where you want to be. And if this is your second career, bravo to you. I'm super excited for you to really be stepping out and doing, what you love. So let's see. Can't wait to become your student, Professor Ali. I can't wait to have you all as my students too. We're going to have an exciting term. It's going to be awesome, awesome. Eliza wants to know, will the synchronous courses be recorded as well as us to go back and review? That is a very good question. I think that it depends on the instructor. You can ask your instructor in the beginning of term 1 if they record their lessons. I am not sure, to be honest with you, because I only teach online asynchronous. So that would be a good question to ask your instructor when you start your synchronous online course, which is going to be college algebra. That's going to be your online sync course for this term. Does Adverum have an app? It's not. Megan answered this. We don't have an app yet. I would not ask our amazing president to come up with an app at some point because he just is very future forward like that. But at this time, no. But it is super user friendly. You guys literally will have no problems navigating Adverum. Awesome.
And just a really quick, because I know we've had a couple questions. So when we say mobile friendly, it just means that the interface itself will transition really well on the phone as it does on the computer. So if you were to open up like Safari or Google Chrome or whatever the interface that you use for your online, and then go on to Adverum, it will restructure itself so that it is mobile friendly in addition to if you were on the computer.
Thank you, Megan. Desiree has not been in school in 20 years. Join my club. Not you, girl. I also have not been in school in 20 years, and I'm
have a look at me.
Reactivated. So, if you have any questions or you support or you event, I'm going to put my email in the chat right now for all of you. So I 100% encourage you to reach out to me at any time for anything. I mean, I'm a nurse, I'm a professor, I'm a recent student, so I'm a mom, I have 2 kids. So 100%, if you need any help, I'm here for you. Hope the technological differences aren't too difficult to accept. It is a big difference, but not too much. You're going to be just fine. Like Megan said, it's extremely user-friendly. But again, if you have any questions, we have Adverum support. We have a whole team dedicated to those types of questions. We've got your student services officers to help. And you've got me, like I said, keep my email, you guys, even if you're not in my class, we nurses stick together. I'm with you through your entire nursing journey. So even though I'm not your instructor, I am here for you on your journey, walking this path with you. So if you need anything, like I said, reach out, 100%, send me an email. My phone is like my third arm. I carry it everywhere I go, and I answer my emails super So please feel free, even just to say hi, introduce yourself, let me know your background, why you chose Stanbridge, why you want to be a nurse. I'd love to hear from my students. So don't be shy, reach out. If you've realized I'm not a shy person. You don't see my email address, and again, I think it's gonna be, you scroll down in the chat.
A drink, weddings,
Oh wait, I think I
birthday.
missed one. Just a moment.
What does alcohol do on your body from somebody who stays lean?
It went to one lucky student. It didn't go to everybody. So let me make sure that you are seeing my email. There it is. A-Lyon, Lyon, @stanbridge.edu.
Thank
A-Lyon,
I did it also, but don't do that.
I'm thinking now, you see that?
@stanbridge.edu is my email.
Is it the
All
car?
right. Scrolling back up.
Is it the
See
car?
anyone else?
I did a little scratch, Matthew. Like, relax. It's right there in the corner of the bumper. It's
That's
not.
not a
Really
tiny
introduced
scratch.
to our
Yes, it is,
cohort
but
in
I messed up.
person.
It's
When you
my
guys
fault.
have your
I asked you to pick me up and take me. It's your
day
fault.
coming up,
You
you're
crashed
going
my
to
car
meet all
again.
your cohort
That's
mates
2
in
times.
person.
If you're a
And
car
I
or
really
a
appreciate
OEM
it. We're running out of time here. The cohort is going to be for the next few years. Really lean on each other. As soon as you can, get a group chat going on WhatsApp or any other modality. Support each other.
just
If you
That's those, bro. Can you fry this
you're
chicken
really
for me?
going through this together. Nursing is a team sport, not an individual one. I will say that the people that are most successful are the ones that are in cohorts.
always come here, but I don't have money
You're
today.
gonna have days where
And,
this gets really hard. You're gonna have days where you want to quit. Don't quit. Call a friend. Call someone in your cohort. Have them talk you off the ledge.
And I really
Trust
want
me, I had cohort mates that I called, talked me off the ledge. Probably once term in my nursing school journey, and I graduated valedictorian with a 4.0. Remember, I said that I didn't think I could pass those sciences. I ended up being the valedictorian. So don't sell yourself short. You can do this. I believe in you. You gotta believe in yourself and keep going. If you don't have a friend to phone me. I'm your friend. Send me an email. I'll give you my cell phone. We can have a chat. I'm 100% there for you guys. Truly, I'm your biggest cheerleader. TOC, shorten the length of your schooling. It will not finish the length of your schooling. You just will not have that class for that term. So basically, you're going to move through this entire next few years with your same cohort. So it won't shorten the length unless you have transfer credit approval for every single class in a term, and then you want to make a track change and move cohorts. But that's a whole nother subject that you can get into with your student services officer. But if you just have 1 or 2 classes you're transferring, you're just basically going to not attend those classes for the term. Alicia, you have a question?
Yeah, my advisor Lorena said that we can just backfill our courses with our student service officer, and then that will shorten it by 6 months. And then she just says you're able to get your license before, but you still have your ceremony until that 3rd year with your cohort.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. I was not aware of that. Like I said, those are really specific kind of situations that your student services officer can assist you with. So thank you, Alicia. I really appreciate you sharing that information with your class. Can you request to have lab the same day as lecture if we commute? You can, but I can tell you it's likely not guaranteed. I think your theory and your lab courses are going to be on separate days. Do you have to bring your own laptop? No, you do not have to bring your own laptop to orientation. Every classroom that you will be in has a laptop at each student station, Stanbridge laptops, and those are the ones that you will use for orientation and also for all of your classroom exams and quizzes. So you have to use the Stanbridge laptop. When will you receive your schedules? If you have not received your schedule already, check with your admissions representative to get your schedule. You should have your schedule. If not, circle back with Megan and we can find out why you don't have your schedule. Desiree's been an LVN for 18 years. Woo! Congratulations, Desiree. That's amazing. Welcome to your RN journey. See, will we be in class with students from other campuses? No, you will not. Not on ground. Okay. So there are some courses we offer.
They told me.
Sorry? Someone have a question? No? Okay. There will be some online asynchronous classes that might be combined just due to like low cohort numbers, but for the most part, your online classes, you know, your entire cohort will be in there, and for your on-ground courses, it would just be your cohort on your particular campus. For synchronous classes, you have to have the presently screen on. Yes, ma'am, you do. Take the in-person orientation like our laptop. No, you don't need to bring your laptop. To on-ground orientation, you would likely probably want to bring a bottle of water, a snack. We don't allow food in classrooms, but you can bring in a bottle of beverage with a lid. I know you mentioned schedules posted a month before each term. Give us an idea if classes are mainly held in the AM or both AM and PM. Desiree, they can be held both morning and evening. We do try to do them, weekdays during the day and afternoon, but really, especially with clinicals, they can be weekends, they can be evenings. But for your general education, first couple terms here, we do try to have them, Monday through Friday. You may have a lab on a Saturday or a Sunday. It just really depends. But yeah, you're gonna get your schedules and you'll be able to plan your life around that. So. Final schedule for this term for LA campus. Check Lisa Marie, check with your admissions representative on your schedule.
You become a fully formed
Annual schedule.
chew your way out of the cell and step into the hive. You start working inside. Your first job is to clean up the bodies. Today,
Alright,
find a
thank
larva
you.
that didn't survive
Is it
incubation.
possible to
Its
get
body
an
is soft
annual
and
schedule
purple,
that
half
includes
sunken
term
into
breaks
wax.
and holiday breaks? Yes, that is in the university catalog that you will find on your portal. If you don't know how to get to your portal, fear not, you will learn tomorrow or whenever your on-ground orientation day is, and you will be able to see that, okay? I think the catalog link, maybe correct me if wrong, is it catalog.stanford.edu. We do have the holidays and the academic calendar is in that catalog.
Yeah, I believe it is. I have to double check the link though. I can get that and then I can put it in the chat.
Sure. Yeah. You can also just probably Google Stanford University catalog and it'll pop up for you. All right, we've got just a minute here, one or two. Let's see. The RN terms the same schedule with other programs like LVN. No, they are different. So LVN does not run at the same time as BSN. We do have a full-time 10-week LVN term, and then we have a part-time 15-week LVN term. So those, but they don't run on the same weeks as the BSN term. So schedules be sent out students who start in October's term. Yes, Brian, they will be sent out. Your admissions representative should have that for you. When do clinicals generally start? I do believe, Sabrina, that's term 6 and 7, but I am not entirely sure since that is when you get into your core BSN program, and that's when we hand you babies from general education over to core, and BSN is a totally different program with different requirements, different classes. That's when you have your clinicals. So when you get to your respective campuses, you will meet your BSN directors and assistant directors, and you can ask them that question. How do we schedule our labs? Your labs are scheduled by the university, so no worries there. Take anything to in-person orientation. I think I already addressed this. You don't need to bring anything. I would bring a snack and a bottle of water.
And we, just for everyone who has some questions about kind of like the on-ground days, we will be going over that before we dismiss you for the day. So if you want to hold those questions, that'd be great, because we're gonna, on our wrap up, we'll go over it all too. But we got you covered.
And that's it. So is anybody, before I leave you, does anybody have any questions that you would like to ask me live and not in the chat? You can ask me anything about nursing school, about my experience, about your courses, about term 1 courses, about the university. Anybody have anything?
And I have the catalog link, so I'm gonna put it in the chat right now, just for anyone who is asking.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. I am so proud of you. I am so excited to meet you all. You're going to have an amazing journey here. And just please remember, I'm walking the path with you. You have my email address. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I am here for you. And best of luck with your on-ground days coming up here. You get to meet all your cohort mates. Super, super exciting. And have a fabulous rest of your Zoom orientation today.
Thank you, Instructor Lynn. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on and hopping on and helping with all the questions and going over all of the details. I know that it's definitely very much appreciated. All right, so for everybody, we're gonna go ahead and kind of hop along to we have a break. I know we've gone over quite a bit of information this morning so far. So I want to make sure you guys get a nice little break in there. So we're gonna take a quick 15-minute break. So we'll reconvene right around 10:40, I would say. 10:45 right now. So yeah, we'll do 10:40. Yes. And so if you guys want to go ahead and do that, you're more than welcome to go to the bathroom, grab a snack, whatever you want to do, that's totally fine. You're more than welcome to kind of turn off your cameras in the meantime. At 10:40, I will kind of signal you all to go ahead and turn on your cameras again, and we'll kind of resume from there. Okay? All right.
Well then.